Hey y'all, Derek here, and today I'm going to do a rear shock install on my Gen 3 KLR 650. I got the Cogent Dynamics MOAB shock, and they did all the hard work. They got, the spring on and the preload already adjusted for my weight and my needs and everything. So the install should be pretty easy. If you have any questions regarding the suspension for the Gen 3 model specifically, I recorded my call with Cogent Dynamics and they ran me through a couple of the questions, common questions that people have. I'll link to that at the end of the video, so they may answer some of those questions, but this is just going to be a quick, easy install. So you will need to get your KLR off the ground. I use this stand from Harbor Freight. These motorcycle jacks from Harbor Freight are pretty good. I used to use it to lift up my Harley, so I know it'll definitely handle the KLR 650. We are definitely going to need to take off the seat and this side cover. I replaced my seat with one from Seat Concepts, and I also got these quick screw release things from 3D Cycle Parts. So taking off my seat is super easy, but if you don't have these, I think it's just a 6mm Allen wrench to take those off. And to take off the side cover, you're going to need a 4mm hex or Allen wrench. I counted 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 2 down here, 1, 2. So I think it's just 4. If not, I'll let you know. Yeah, I don't see any more bolts holding this thing on, so should come right off. Easy enough. Looks like after this install, I got some cleaning to do. That's pretty bad. All right, we're on the right-hand side of the bike now. And I forgot to mention, and I bring this up all the time, but I'm 6'6" and 280 pounds. I'm a big guy, so suspension work goes a long way for me. People ask me all the time too about my height and weight, so I think it's important to get out there. So big guys like me know that, we can ride these bikes too. All right, so what we're gonna need here is a 22mm socket, and we need to get off the linkage and also the rear shock bolt. So again, 22mm socket, get these things off. They are gonna be on tight. All right, so I couldn't get it off with just that socket. I got an extension bar, and I'm gonna try to use my big fat feet and step on it and see if that works. So I wanna get you a good shot of what I'm doing here, just in case it helps someone else out. But just stepping on it, breaks it loose. That takes care of the linkage. Unscrew this nut for the rear shock bolt. And if your bolts won't come up, just lift up on the swing arm slightly. Get it to kind of line up there. And it'll pull right out. So the only thing holding the shock on now is the top bolt. There's a dust cover in the way here. A couple things in the way, so I'm going to kind of dismantle this and see how to get to it. If you can see right here, this bracket is actually preventing me from getting in there. So I think if I just take this bolt off, this fuse should slide out of the way. I took the 8mm bolt out, and it's not pretty, but it did leave me enough space to get a socket in there. Tight squeeze, but let's see if that'll work. And just so you know, this top bolt is a 17mm. So look at that, it worked. Left me just enough room. All right, this shock is coming out. And there should be enough space now to get the shock to just pull right through. Got her. So here's a quick little side-by-side comparison. Obviously this is the stock one, and this is the one from Cogent. Much thicker spring. The stock one actually weighs more. I could definitely feel the difference, but yeah. So I don't know, maybe you'll lose like half a pound or something with installing this, but really I'm not worried about weight loss on the bike. If anything, I need to worry about weight loss for myself. But yeah, I'm super excited, so I'm not gonna wait anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing installed. All right, so my game plan here is just to kind of slide it in place the same way the old one came out. And I'm gonna get the top bolt in first. Just so you know, the Cogent sticker goes to the left side of the bike. Slide this thing in. I'm going to try to let it rest right there. Yeah, so really not much to this. You just got to get it lined up and slide the bolt back in. What I will recommend is just a little tiny bit of blue Loctite on the end of the bolt here. So I'm going to put a little blue Loctite on mine and get this squared away. The top bolt's sitting in there nice. I haven't snugged it down yet because we will bust out the torque wrench for that. And we also need to get the bottom bolts back in. So let's get the bottom bolts in, snug it all up, and then all that's left is a test ride. All right, so we just want to get this lined up and push the bolt through. There we go. And I'm just going to put this nut on there finger tight, hold it in place. And now for these linkage bolts, I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of this waterproof grease on there. And I'm not going to get it on the threaded section, right? Just along this part. All right, and tighten your linkage nuts back down. Hand tight for now. So that's that. All we have to do now is tighten down the top and bottom shock bolts to spec. If you have a torque wrench, what I found online, it is 45 foot-pounds for the top bolt and around 70 foot-pounds for the bottom. So I'm not going to bore you all with the reinstallation of all the plastics and the seat and everything, but I will do a quick test ride once we get everything put back together. Man, does it feel good. The KLR used to feel a little bit more like a sofa, but now I'm barely feeling these bumps. I know you're not seeing much right now because I'm stuck at a stop sign, but we'll go through the woods a little bit and I'll get some footage of it. But yeah, it feels like a night and day difference. When I first sat on it, I was expecting to get something a little stiffer, but I think that's just because I have the preload on my KLX 300 set up pretty stiff. And then, you know, I just got to remind myself I'm going to be doing more intense trail riding on the KLX 300. This bike is for going long distances, doing some moto camping. We're going to rip some trails, but, you know, it's not going to be as intense as the stuff I do on the KLX 300, so it doesn't need to be as stiff. But yeah, even standing up, man, feels great. Feels like night and day difference for real. They did a great job setting it up for me. That guy did not want to wave. It's fine. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'll get you some footage once we get into the woods. All right, so I'm kind of off-road now. Let's do a little bit of suspension testing. Got some rocks here. Oh, didn't even feel them. Yeah, man, it feels night and day. It's not a sofa anymore. She wants to play now. Oh man, it feels great. It feels incredible. Alright, so do I recommend the Cogent Dynamics MOAB shock? Based off my limited test riding, I feel like the answer is obvious. Anytime you can get a suspension, you know, dialed in for you and your weight and your riding style, I think it's a great option. I am loving it so far, and I can't wait to do some more kind of crazy trails with it. It feels great. If you are a smaller rider, like, you know, between 160 and 200, I think you could stick with Kawasaki's OEM shock. The preload adjustment on there was pretty good. It just wasn't enough for me. But I'm 6'6" and 280 pounds. I say it all the time. And I'm gonna load this thing down with camping gear as well, so obviously I needed something a little bit better for me. But yeah, Cogent Dynamics MOAB shock feels night and day. I love the difference. I'm loving the KLR 650. All I have left to do is mount the exhaust, and then I'm pretty much done with the mods that I wanted to do with it. I think. We'll see, right? Time always has a way of adding things. But yeah, if you're interested in this type of content, or the KLR 650, or dual sport riding in general, please subscribe. It helps my channel out so much. I thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.